Welcome back to Retirement Today. I'm your co-host, Jonathan Berkland, and with me here in the studio is Michael Reese, certified financial planning professional for over 25 years. And for those of you maybe joining us here halfway through our show today, we've been talking about retirement advisor indicators, right? So you may have an advisor out there, but are they a retirement advisor? We've been talking about a few indicators that can tell you, hey, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. And if they aren't, you might need a second opinion, right? I mean,
that's right. The big reality in our world is the financial industry does not train you how to be a retirement advisor.
Unfortunately.
I mean, that's reality because it's not in their best interest. The financial industry trains advisors how to help you grow and accumulate your money. And the idea is, hey, let's build a portfolio and let's essentially buy and hold in good times and bad. And from the industry's perspective, they're saying, we love this because, hey, you invest in our products, we collect fees every single year, and we want you to just hang on forever so we can collect fees every year.
Yeah, you're a great customer.
Problem is, when you are getting close to retirement, when you are in retirement, suddenly the game changes. You don't have the same time that you had to make up for losses. You're not adding to your portfolio as much anymore. Now maybe you're taking money out. A lot of different parameters come into play. And it is now time to talk about indicator number 3.
Number 3.
Because number 1, what did we say? We said your advisor should focus on protecting your assets first and foremost.
Yep.
Number 2, we said income, income, income.
That's right.
Retirement is not about how much money you have. It's about how much income you have. Very important distinction. So number 3, to what degree does your advisor help you with your health care in retirement? There are 2 major components of health care in retirement that you need to think about. And by the way, one of the biggest concerns people have going into retirement, Jonathan, how am I going to afford my medical expenses?
Exactly.
Healthcare expenses are rising like crazy. They have been for years and years and years, and it looks like no end in sight.
Right.
So how do we manage that? There are 2 primary healthcare issues you need to think about. First, ongoing healthcare. This is, going to the doctor, getting your prescriptions. Maybe you have to go to the hospital for a little something, nothing major, or maybe it is major. And once you hit age 65, Medicare comes into play. You're on Medicare at age 65 primary, and that's pretty much for most people. Now, if you're still working, you might be working after age 65. Medicare may kick in a little bit later. But generally speaking, once you're at 65, you're on Medicare.
Right.
And when you're on Medicare, first, number 1, you have to sign up for it and all the fun stuff that entails.
Yes.
And by the way, it's hard to miss this because about 4 months or 6 months before your 65th birthday, you're going to start receiving some letters in the mail. And it's kind of fun. I had a client come in the other day, and they brought this huge stack of mail. And all of this huge stack of mail, it was huge, was nothing more than a bunch of letters he started getting. He was, from about 6 months prior to his 65th birthday, all trying to sell Medicare programs.
Oh, yes.
It was crazy.
Yep.
Anyway, once you turn 65, you're on Medicare, you sign up for that. And there's part A and B. And you need to understand how that works. A, by the way, is hospital, B is doctor, right? But then you have to make another decision. Should you either get a supplement, which is traditional Medicare planning, or should you do Advantage, which is kind of the HMO of Medicare planning? Both approaches have their pros and cons. Which is right for you? Well, is that something you should have to figure out on your own?
No, it's not fun to figure out on your own either.
This is what you have an advisor for. This is what you have an advisor for. And an advisor who focuses on retirement planning can help you with that. If they can't help you with that, guess what? Your advisor does not focus on retirement planning. And it's probably not the right advisor for your retirement. You probably need a second opinion. It's that simple. Hey, advisor, I'm turning 65. What do I do about my Medicare planning? Oh, I don't know. I can refer you to someone. No, that's not good enough. I don't know I can refer you to someone says, yeah, I'm not really a retirement advisor and I'm too lazy to find out how it works. And so I'm just going to refer to you to someone else because I don't care about that. I'd rather just focus on what I make money on. A retirement advisor needs to be more rounded than that. I mean, really? Your advisor doesn't even know how Medicare works? Well, then, what the heck? What else are they missing? So I know it's not exciting to talk about Medicare, but it's important because it's your health care. Now, here's the thing. You also have to watch out for Medicare premiums.
Yes.
Guess what? Those are based on how much money you earned 2 years before.
That's right.
And every year. So if it's 2022, your Medicare premiums are based on how much your income was in 2020. If it's 2023, your Medicare premiums are based on how much money you made in 2021. If it's 2030, your Medicare premiums are based on how much you made in
2028.
2028.
And so on. That's
how it works.
Yep.
Does your advisor know that? Does your advisor, when building income planning for you, are they taking that into account? Are they? Because I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just $100 over a limit, and next thing you know, bump, put them into a higher bracket.
That's right.
It costs them more money in additional Medicare premiums than the extra $100.
Right, exactly.
If their advisor's paying attention, their advisor could have said, hey, you know what? We want to reduce your income by like $100 this year so that if we don't, look at all the extra dollars you're going to pay in Medicare. It's crazy. So how well do they know that? Can they even show you how it works? And then you have to recognize the second part. So part one of healthcare planning and retirement is Medicare and dealing with that. Mm-hmm. Part two is, what does Medicare not pay for? Not the little stuff. Like if you get a supplement, all the co-pays and all other stuff, the supplements pretty much cover. I'm talking about big dollars. What does Medicare not cover, Jonathan?
Your long-term care expenses.
Long-term care.
Yeah.
Long-term care study, the government, our own government, is telling us that if you hit age 65, so you made it to Medicare,
yep,
you have a 70% chance, 70%, that you're going to need long-term care at some point.
Right.
They are not saying that 70% of you are going to a nursing home. That's not what they're saying.
No.
They're saying you will need long-term care. Now, most long-term care is delivered in the home. This is where you pay nurses or doctors to come to your house and take care of you. It might be home health care aides. But is it free for that?
No.
Does Medicare pay for that?
No.
No. And then, you get worse. Maybe, let's say you get Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
My wife likes to joke that I have selective Alzheimer's because I only remember what I want to remember. I think she's being silly.
Yeah, probably so.
I remember everything, of course, as all husbands do. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But let's imagine I get Alzheimer's. We'll pick on me.
Okay.
And, I don't know, 83 years old, I start to get Alzheimer's. And, it starts out not so bad, but my wife starts to need help. She starts bringing some nurses or doctors, home health care aides to kind of help keep me at home, but help her take care of me. Mm-hmm. Costs money. I get worse. And eventually it's like, this is costing too much money. I mean, by the way, the most expensive care is if you need 24/7 care at home.
Right.
If they have to come to you, that's the most expensive care. Also the kind of care I want to have the assets to pay for. But most people don't. So what happens? You say, okay, it's getting bad. We got to move Mike to assisted living. Mm-hmm. Assisted living is that in-between place. It's not home care. It's not a nursing home. It's the in-between place. Maybe it's an Alzheimer's facility where they're specialized in taking care of me with my Alzheimer's. And eventually I keep getting worse over time. And eventually I might end up in the nursing home at the very end.
Right.
Now, I bet all of you listening either know someone that's gone through that, maybe a relative, or someone who's gone through a similar type of scenario. And it costs a boatload of money. Just a boatload of money. And Jonathan, how much of those expenses does Medicare cover?
None.
Like basically none of it.
Yeah.
Now they might cover like the first 100 days or 100, the initial stages.
The key word's long term, right?
Yeah.
Not there for you, right?
No, they don't. So the question is, okay, how are you going to cover that?
Yeah.
Every retirement plan needs to consider How are you going to pay for care? Are you going to pay for it out of your pocket? Are you going to transfer risk to an insurance company? If you transfer risk to an insurance company, are you going to use, traditional long-term care insurance? Are you going to use annuities? Are you going to use life insurance options, which are really popular these days? How are you going to do it? What's your plan? And guess what? Again, if you have to ask your advisor, hey, I'm worried about my healthcare, what do I do about this? Guess what? Wrong advisor for retirement. They should have already brought that to you. Mm-hmm. That's their job, not yours. And if you're sitting there saying, man, I need to talk to someone, it's obvious my advisor is not the right advisor to get me through retirement, why not give us a call for a second opinion?
Yep, really easy.
It's free, no obligation. Get a Retire Right report. Jonathan, let's get that number out there.
Absolutely. Give us a call at 512-886-5850. Again, the number is 512-886-5850. It's after hours, so you'll get our answering service. Just leave your name, number. They'll set up a time with you to get in touch with me, and we'll just have a conversation and get you on track to get that Retire Right report.
That's right. And folks, remember, it's only for the first 10 callers,
Yep.
so you got to call now. Over 200,000 of assets saved for retirement. You got to call now. 512-886-5850. We only have a few spots left. All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk about indicator number 4, my favorite topic, taxes.